Hi everyone, this is Matthew Nunes and welcome to Writing and the Professions. So in this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the class and show you around our Canvas site. If you've taken an online class at Miami before, I'm sure you know how Canvas is generally set up, although it can vary by the class. And so just make sure you do take some time to look through our Canvas site so you know where everything is and how the class is set up. So this, of course, is what you'll see when you open our Canvas site. This is the home page. And I have an easy link to the syllabus, the modules page, and of course my email down here. And of course we have this helpful to-do list over on this side on the right that gives you an overview of the assignments and pages you need to do that day, although they don't actually list them in the correct order necessarily if we have more than one thing listed for one day. So the best place to do that, see that in the correct order, is on the modules page, which is over here. But let's start out by taking a look at the syllabus. And if you'd like to, you can you get a printable version right here. It's a Google Doc, and so you can, if you open that, you can print that out if you prefer, because the syllabus is a little bit long for and lots of exciting policies. But on this page, I have a little overview of myself and my pet dog, and so you can get a sense of a little bit about me from there. And of course, my contact information is here as well. The email is really the best way to get a hold of me during the summer. Because although I do have my office in Middletown, which is what the phone number is for, during the summer, the Middletown campus is pretty deserted, and so I won't be working from my Middletown office very often. And give some general departmental information here as well. So Writing in the Professions, I have an overview of the course here. I'll let you read through all of it more thoroughly on your own. But really one thing this class is doing is to really help develop the skills, really build on the skills that you've been getting from English and English Studies courses, including this one, and thinking about how to apply those skills to non-academic settings, in particular to the professions that you're more interested in. So this is not something like workplace writing or technical writing where you might be creating a resume. If you want to do that, you can take one of those classes, but rather we're thinking about how do the skills transfer a bit. How do we use the skills that we gained from this, from English Studies, from liberal arts education, and apply them to solving real-world problems. And in fact, that's one key element of the class, is that we'll be focusing on a complex problem that you will choose in these first few days of the class, and you'll be focusing on exploring that problem throughout the class. Again, I'll let you read through much of this on your own, and I'm just gonna highlight a few policies here, though, I want to make sure you pay attention to. Of course, we have all of our learning outcomes as well, and of course, this is an advanced writing course and experiential learning course, so I've got information about those as well. As far as materials go, we do not have a textbook that you need to buy for this class. In fact, all of the materials are provided for you on Canvas, and so that's a nice thing to have. Although if you prefer to read a printed copy, then you'll just be responsible for printing that yourself. And so all of the materials, as I said, are whether websites, PDF files, things like that, some videos as well that we have on Canvas. The grading overview I have right here. And so basically, we have your final multimodal project, which is actually a video presentation. That's 20% of the grade. The 50% is a lot of the homework kind of things, right? So your participation through discussions, quizzes, the other short activities, those are all toward that homework grade. And of course, we have a couple of short essays, and that is 30% right there. So it's a weighted grades like that. And of course, late assignments are, well, this is I think you not be too surprised that when something's due by a certain day and time, that I expect it to be submitted by that date. You may have heard my dog barking just now. And so if you need extra time on something comes up, I know life happens, contact me, right? It's just as if you were in a workplace setting, which is a professional setting. If you couldn't make it to work, or even if you're going to be late for work, you would do your best to contact your employer to let them know, and to, this is kind of the same idea here with this class, but also with any other classes you're taking, is that it is the professional thing to do to contact me if you are having difficulties and if you need additional time or anything going on. Just keep that in mind. Clear communication is really the key thing. And of course, something that's submitted late may not receive credit, or if it does receive credit, it would have a late penalty deducted from it. I have the overview of the grading scale here. I'll let you look through that. The schedule is really kept on Canvas. They have a summary of it at the bottom of the syllabus. But if you go to the modules page, all the dates are showing there, so you can get a sense of when everything is due And so, no need to copy and paste it here since it's over there on that part of the page. And I have some general expectations, of course, for you and, of course, for myself you'd like to read through. And also the academic integrity policy. Now, you've probably heard this before from other courses, but there are some new things to consider with this in recent years. So I did want to highlight a few important things about that. So one, obviously, of course, with academic integrity, you want to make sure that you are writing everything yourself, right? So everything you write for this class is your own work. But also, of course, that that means that it's not something you wrote for a previous class and trying to get double credit for it. And that's what we call self-plagiarism. And similarly, you want to make sure that you are, you can relate to that in any work that you are writing, of course, and when you are consulting sources, that you need to cite them, right? You need to cite where information comes from. Even when you're not quoting something and the information came from a source, you cite it, right? So proper citation is expected. But the other element, of course, is the new thing is the generative AI, right? We all have heard of this, and maybe some of you have dabbled in it. But that generative AI is not allowed for this class in any form. So even though it can be a cool tool in professional spaces, in an academic space, when you're using AI to do your assignments, that is cheating. So because you're submitting something as though you wrote it, but you actually did not write it, right? So that is probably the biggest form of cheating I see now. I catch it frequently. In fact, last semester I caught 7 cases of it, and all 7 students were found responsible and had to have sanctions imposed upon them, which is not fun for anybody. So similarly though, many of you though might be more familiar with something like Grammarly, which is a writing tool. But writing tools like Grammarly now actually use AI. Grammarly actually advertises itself as an AI assistant. So yes, Grammarly is also not allowed to be used for this course. And similar writing tools that use AI like that. So if you have something like Grammarly or a similar writing tool extension installed on your browser, you will need to uninstall it for the duration of this class. Anyway, so I have some general information here, of course, about sanctions information with some links about all the academic integrity process that Miami has, which is good to be familiar with, but it's definitely not fun to deal with on my part either. But such is life. Anyway, so I have the other policies here. I'll let you read through on your own, and of course at the bottom is the summary. And again, these are not necessarily listed in the correct order on this summary here. They are on the modules, but you will see very quickly that there's going to be something due almost every day for this class during the summer. I do try to have a few days off sometimes, some Sundays, some Saturdays, and of course we have a couple of national holidays during our summer term when we won't have something due on those days either. But for the most part, something will be due every day for this class. And so you should expect to work on this class every day. So make it part of your routine, figure out what's the best time of day for you to be working on this class, and schedule that time for yourself, just make it part of the habit, and then it'll make it much easier for you to stay on track with the class. Because if you start falling behind, it's a lot harder to catch up on the class when it's a summer course, when it's we're trying to squeeze a full semester's worth of work into just 6 weeks. And so, there's not nearly as much time, which is why we have to have such frequent due dates for this. But I'll take a really quick look at the modules page. Again, you can explore some of this more on your own. And of course, right away, we'll have a syllabus quiz and an academic integrity policy quiz. So, and then, of course, an introductions discussion. So you get to know each other, and I get to know a little bit about you. And one of the other thing is the thing I mentioned briefly earlier. You will be focusing on a complex problem for much of your work in this class, which you'll be needing to choose right up front. And so we'll be having you choosing some possible topics that interest you, and you'll narrow it down and make your choice. And that is part of Module 0 as well. But we'll also be jumping into Module 1, Liberal Arts Education, English Studies, and Writing. And this does not have a major project associated with Module 1, but it's still, there's a focus on thinking about the skills and things we get from a liberal arts education, which of course applies to English studies and English courses as well. And how those skills are applicable in the real world, really. And so there's some attention to different career paths, impact of social media on professional writing, and some other topics as well, which I hope you will find to be interesting. And we'll end it with a reflection. We'll be doing some reflections somewhat frequently with each major project. That is the 2 major essays. There'll be reflection due along with those. There'll be a kind of a final, really kind of short reflection at the very end of the course as well. So reflection I build into the class, because I do like to hear your perspective on your learning. It's also good to sit and reflect on that learning because you do retain the information better and understand your own learning better. Module 2 is applying English studies skills. And so there's well, there are various things. Again, you're not going to sum it all up right here, but there's a lot of different assignments we'll be doing with that. The job interview question video. Also, we'll be focusing on multimodality and the use of multiple modes in addressing problems, and how can we use multiple modes in order to help address different problems. So that'll lead up to an essay on that. Of a module on exploring complex problems, where you'll be kind of developing your thinking on the complex problem that you chose and approaches to thinking about and addressing that problem. So again, you can look ahead for more details. Focus on storytelling. This is one of my favorite modules. So storytelling, of course, is very central to a lot of English courses and English studies courses. Obviously, because it's creative writing and literature where we see storytelling going on there, but it actually applies in professional settings as well. So that's what we're thinking about here, is the role of storytelling in professional settings. In this case, so we have some readings regarding organizational storytelling or narratives, or corporate narratives, another name for it. And so it's really quite interesting to think about. And so you'll be looking about how that works with an example, but also be thinking about how you might be able to apply storytelling in your own career, but also with the complex problem that you're focusing on during the course. And then all of that will finally culminate in your final project. That is your final video presentation, which is in Module 5. And this is one of my favorite parts of the class as well, getting to watch everybody's videos. And these videos, and again, I'll have more details as we proceed with the course, but they'll need to be posted in a public forum. And that's one way we are meeting the experiential learning requirement of the course, is that we're having a potential audience beyond the class, not just your classmates. So there are various ways that we can meet that with that public forum, various types of public forums we can do. And so you'll find more about that in Module 5 and as we approach that. And then get a chance to watch each other's presentations. So that's kind of the course in a nutshell, very short explanation, although I see we're already getting a long video with this. But if you have any questions about the class as you get started, make sure you do let me know. I'm very happy to help out. I will be sending out regular announcements to the class with updates, reminders, addressing questions that come up. So I will do my best to keep everybody on track. And so you'll be hearing from me again very soon with additional details. But as I said, any questions or anything like that, just let me know. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you.